Has the lockdown got you feeling chained and trapped? Have you realised that perhaps the freedom that you thought you had in your life was just an illusion? Do you want to know what true freedom is all about? I want to tell you that in my own life, I've found that there's only one way to have true freedom. Watch on as I perform some escapology and explain just how all of us can know that true freedom for ourselves. Each and every one of us has our own chains that bind and trap us. Is there a way that we can find freedom from them? With the tragic deaths all around us in the current crisis, many people have become concerned about the chains of death. Is there a way that we can know freedom from the chains of death itself? Harry Houdini was the most famous escapologist ever. Someone who got locked up in chains like these and escaped. He performed many incredible escapes during his life, but he was convinced that he could escape anything. He thought that he could escape even death himself. He encouraged some of his friends that after he died to meet in a room and place a pair of locked handcuffs on the table and he would spring them open. They did just that, but nothing happened because there was one thing that Houdini could not escape, and that was death itself. Almost 2,000 years before, though, it was a different story. Someone defeated death itself in order to offer us the ultimate freedom if we want it. That someone was Jesus. The Bible tells us that apart from Jesus, none of us are truly free. There's something deep within us that causes us to turn away from God, the one who created us and loves us. The Bible calls that sin. People get confused about sin and think it's big wrongs like murder or rape, but that's not what the Bible says. Sin is the thing within us that turns us away from our Creator and causes us to go our own way. Sin is living for ourselves rather than living for God. It chains and traps all of us. The Bible says that we're all held by the cords or chains of our sin, and that sin will equal death and will mean a separation from God forevermore. We don't like to talk about it, but the Bible says it means death. Jesus, though, offers another way. He lived a perfect life on this earth, life without sin because he's God, and then he died upon a cross. On the cross, he took sin upon himself. The Bible says that he became sin for us, so that in him we could be declared right with God. He took our chains so that we could be free. His body was buried in a tomb, and 3 days later he rose to life to show that he defeated sin and death for us. So what do you need to do to know that freedom? The Bible says that everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. You need to turn to God, admit you've messed up by yourself, say you're sorry for what you've done wrong and call out to him to save you, making him your Lord, the boss of your life forevermore. What I'm going to do in a moment, as soon as Becky finishes doing these chains, is I'm going to get down into this sack. I'm going to be chained into this sack, chained up like this, to show just what Jesus did for us. That he took upon himself the chains of the things that you and I have done wrong, so that we could be forgiven if we turn and put our trust in him and him alone. That's what the Bible promises. That's the true freedom that is on offer from Jesus Christ, God himself. So, now that we're chained by there, I'm going to kneel down into this sack because otherwise it won't come up over my head. And as I said, I will then attempt to escape from here to show what Jesus has done for us, how he offers us true and amazing freedom. There. The Bible says that if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I urge you to know that freedom today by turning and putting your trust in Jesus Christ and Him alone. If you want to know more about how you can do that, please message me, and I would love to tell you more about how you too can know that true freedom that is only on offer by putting your trust in Jesus Christ. Thanks for watching.